Thank you, sir. Shots from the Grammy. Mr. Mirinda, am I pronouncing that right? Okay.
Exactly right. Good to see you, sir.
Good to be seen. So Lynn, there were a few questions for you, and I looked at them all. There were 4 questions for me, by the way. They were all the same thing. How attractive is Lynn in person? Does he really smell that nice? And is it hard to direct a genius? Is it hard to direct your friend who's also really, really smart? America, I'd like to be here to say, it's not that hard. Lynn, we're back. So
we're back,
here we
baby.
are towards the end of this night. We've got a couple more surprises after this, and then we're gonna let everyone go back to their lives. But one of the things that's been so astounding about the response to this event is that over 100,000 donors signed up and gave whatever it is that they could. And between 45 and 50% of those donors were first-time donors. And so much of this moment right now is about how do we all feel engaged with the process? How do we feel like it's also about us? And if you can turn a first-time donor into a first-time voter, right, then all of a sudden it feels like you're having a conversation where we're engaged in our citizenry and what it means to be a citizen. Can you talk about your first-time voting? I don't know if you have a recollection of that. You've obviously been around politics with your pops, but you could speak to that.
Yeah, voting. I mean, I grew up in a weird house. My dad was, my dad grew up on an island where he was an American citizen, but was not allowed to vote in these elections. So as soon as he moved here from Puerto Rico, voting got real serious. And I remember blowing out the birthday candles on my 18th birthday and filling out my voter registration form next to the cake. So it was deep in our house. But even before that, I remember my mom picking me up from school and taking me to our local library on the way home, where our local library had magically turned into a voting place. And suddenly there were these booths that looked like they were from another century, and they were the old, sometimes you have like comic book nerds like sort of waxing nostalgic about die-cast metal toys. Like I remember like the giant, I got to pull the lever on the vote that tabulated the vote. And it was like, it was enormous to me. I was a child. And, my mom would make her choices on the little levers. And then I got to pull the vote that, pull the lever that, and it was a very special, like it was very special watching my local library be transformed and then getting to pull the final baton for my mom's vote every year, not just every 4 years, but we were an every year voting family. So it's always been really special, and I'm excited that so many people are going to experience that for the first time in this election.
Very good, sir. I think we've done it. I think we've come to the end of this part.
Hey,
how about that? Tevi just really cutting through there. All right, someone's gonna hopefully take me away from this crowd. So I'm just gonna wait here.
I think I have the honor to do that. Thank you to everybody in our incredible company for answering those questions. Thank you to all of you who are with us all over this country and for donating and being a part of this, and for all you're doing to help this campaign and our country. 18 days. We have one shot to take back our democracy, and we have 18 days to do it. We need to make every one of them count. We owe it to ourselves and to each other. I know there are a lot of young people tuning into this event, and for you, I have a really simple message. If young people didn't believe in their power to create change, our country wouldn't exist. Hamilton was a teenager when the revolution began. John Lewis was 23 when he spoke at the March on Washington. Marsha P. Johnson was 23 at Stonewall. History is full of young people fighting for the more perfect union our founding fathers promised but never fully realized. So in this moment, we are counting on you so much. At the end of Hamilton, Eliza asks, when my time is up, have I done enough? Actually, Pippa sings it, and it's way better than I could ever sing it. When this election is over, we will ask ourselves the same question. Did we do enough? Let's make sure our answer is a resounding yes. Let's not just raise our glasses to freedom, let's raise our voices to it too. Let's show up to the voting booth for Joe Biden in the kind of numbers that will make this election one for the history books. But first, we have a little song for you.
Show up and vote. You will determine the outcome of this election. Vote, vote, vote. If you're able to vote early in your state, vote early. If you're able to vote in person, vote in person. Vote whatever way is the best way for you. Just make sure you understand you have it in your control to determine what this country is going to look like the next 4 years.
Two Virginians and an immigrant walk into a room diametrically opposed foes. They emerge with a compromise, having opened doors that were previously closed. Bros, the immigrant emerges with unprecedented financial power, a system he can shape however he wants. The Virginians emerge with the nation's capital, and here's the pièce de résistance. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the game is played, the art of the trade, how the sausage gets made. We just assume that it happened, but no one else is in the room where it happens. Thomas claims
Alexander was on Washington's doorstep one day in distress and disarray.
Thomas claims
Alexander said,
I've nowhere else to turn.
and basically begged me to join the fray.
Thomas claims
I approached Madison and said, I know you hate him, but let's hear what he has to say.
Thomas claims
I arranged the meeting. I arranged the menu, the venue, the seating.
what? No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the parties get to yes, the pieces that are sacrificed to every game of chess. We just assume that it happens, but no one else is in the room where it happens. Meanwhile, Madison's grappling with the fact that not every issue can be settled by committee. Meanwhile, Congress is fighting over where to put the capital. It isn't pretty. The Jefferson approaches with a dinner and invite. Madison responds with Virginian insight.
Maybe we can solve one problem with another and win a victory for the Southerners. In other words, a quid pro quo.
I suppose.
Wouldn't you like to work a little closer to home?
Actually, I would.
Well, I propose the Potomac.
And you'll provide him his vote?
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Let's go.
No. What else was in the room where it happened? The room where it happened. The room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened. The room where it happened. The room where it happened. My God, in God we trust, but we never really know what got discussed. Click, boom, and it happened. And no one else was in the room where it happened. Alexander Hamilton. What did they say to you to get you to sell New York City down the river? Alexander Hamilton. Did Washington know about the dinner? Was the presidential pressure to deliver? Alexander Hamilton. Or did you know even then it doesn't matter where you put the U.S. capital?
Because we all have the banks, we're in the same spot.
You got more than you gave.
And I wanted what I got. When you got skin in the game, you stay in the game. But you don't get a win unless you play in the game. Oh, you get love for it, you get hate for it. You get nothing if you wait for it, wait for it, wait. God help and forgive me. I want to build something that's gonna outlive me.
What do you want, girl? What do you want, girl?
If you stand for nothing, girl, what do you fall for?
I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. The art of the compromise. Hold your nose and close your eyes. We want our leaders to save the day. We don't get a say in what they trade away. We dream of a brand new start, but we dream in the dark for the most part. Dark as a tomb where it happens. I've got to be in the room where it happens. I've got to be in the room where it happens. I've got to be in the room where it happens. I've got to be in the room where it happens. I wanna be the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens. Click, boom.
Vote.
When we vote, things change. When we vote, things get better. When we vote, we address the need for all people to be treated with dignity and respect in our country.
Thank you. Go vote.
Go vote.
Go vote, y'all.
Vote like a mother, vote like a mother.